Hey everyone, it's Xant. So I'm just going to make a very quick update video here because I don't want to be talking about this for a terribly long amount of time. So SINoALICE just got its first post-launch banner, and they talked about it on their Twitter and an in-game notice. So we have the new Snow White class, Crusher, which is coming out, and that's going to obviously be on Rate Up. And along with it, we're also getting Mermaid Breaker, which is really cool. Now, in JP, Mermaid came with a story chapter. So there were two versions of her, one you would get in Gacha and one that you would get through story. Right now, we're only getting the Gacha one. Her story, to my knowledge, isn't being added yet. Now, something to note is that this entire banner is actually being added to the global pool once it ends. So if you don't roll on this banner, you'll still be able to get the characters that are on it later on, and you'll most likely never want to see them again, especially Little Mermaid, because you're going to get a lot of that weapon. It's an S rank. So anyways, the actual contents of the banner are here on the database. So you have the Iron Hammer of Justice, which is Snow White Crusher's weapon, Eris, Avatar of Gluttony, and its summon ability is to reduce SP costs for your allies. You still get the same amount of mastery. You can just use more weapons before having to recharge, so to speak. And Sword of Sorrow, which is Little Mermaid's weapon. So yeah, it's a pretty straightforward banner. Beyond that, we're also getting Nightmare in the Chapel. It's a conquest event. It works a lot like the guerrilla raids we currently have right now, where it's on a rotating cycle. So that's something to get used to. It is a very high difficulty mission. I think bar to entry for the very first node is like 50k. So yeah, don't feel a ton of pressure to actually participate. It does come back at a later date. Most players won't be able to play in this at all, and that's fine. FOMO, don't worry about it for this. Yeah, personally, I would say if you're not really a huge fan of Snow White or Little Mermaid, don't roll on the banner that's coming up because you'll be able to obtain them at a later date. Not going to be a big deal. Myself, I will be rolling on it because I really do want Snow White Crusher. And I will most likely stream my rolls on that because I plan on rolling until I get her, so that means I will most likely end up sparking. I'll most likely regret that when the Replicant banner comes around, but you do what you gotta do for the characters you like, even if that means suffering in the long run. Anyways, so yeah, as you can see here, this event starts at 8 a.m. UTC, 7/8. This also starts on 7/8, but at 7. We do have maintenance running from 2 a.m. UTC to 2:59, but that's at least what it says on paper. I expect there to be extensions. It'll most likely run until like 3 or 4 a.m. UTC. So anyways, yes, that's really all there is to talk about with this. It was very straightforward, very simple. Oh, right. The medals that you obtain from rolling in this banner will be usable with the medals that you got from rolling the beginner gacha as well, because the medals of desire are for non-collaboration banners, because collaboration banners have their own special currency. So if you roll on this banner or the beginner banner, you'll get the same pool of tokens to spend on the Spark shop and the metal shop in exchange for items that you can spark for. When the Nier Automata banner starts, that'll have its own unique metal currency, so you won't be able to use the stuff that you roll from this or whatever to spark. And when Replicant comes around, that'll have its own unique coins as well. So that's just something to kind of keep in mind, as collaborations typically have their own unique gacha medals. So you can't just roll, 10 on this, 10 on the Automata banner, and then, roll 30 to 40 tons on Replicant, and now you have 50 total. Doesn't work like that, right? So just keep that in mind. Anyways, I'll wrap up here. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Remember, the Nier Automata event starts actually in 9 days. It is water advantage. So if you have a lot of water stuff in your grid and or freeze golem, you're set. All right, peace out. See you guys in the next one.